guys, we're about to do the math review pages 4 through 6. I've got Avery here with me, and we got a ton of moving boxes because my husband and I are moving into our new house on Saturday. Okay, so go ahead and get out page 4. It looks like this. 5 and 6, and then come back here and we will start. All right, let's start with number 14. Find 9.50, take away 2.63. The first thing I'm going to do, which I've already done, is to rewrite that not horizontally, but vertically so that it's stacked and easy to subtract. All right, now 0 can't take away 3, so it borrows from the 5. The 5 becomes a 4. The 0 becomes 10 because it's borrowed 10 from next door. 10 take away 3 is 7. 4 can't take away 6, so we have to borrow again. The 9 becomes an 8. The 4 goes up by 10 to 14. 14 take away 6. 6 plus 6 would be 12, so 6 plus 8 gives me 14. 8. I keep my decimal point, just bring that down. And then 8 take away 2 is 6. 6.87 or 6 and 87 hundredths. And that is answer choice D. All right, 15. Barry had some stamps. He gave an eighth of them to Tom. If he gave 15 stamps to Tom, how many stamps did he have at first? Okay, so let's think about it. We've got B and we've got T. That's Barry and Tom. Barry has a certain number. We don't know how many to start with exactly. And he gives an eighth of them to Tom. And that eighth is equal to 15 stamps. Well, whatever Barry had before, even though we don't know the exact number of stamps, we know what fraction it was. It was all of those eighths, or 8 eighths, right? So now I know what 1/8 is, and I can find how much 8 eighths is. It would be this amount times 8. 15 times 8. I'm just going to do that on the side here. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 4 is 12. 120. 8 eighths equals 120 stamps. Number 16. 0.55 or 55 hundredths is not equal to, and then they give us a bunch of answer choices. So let's start by saying 0.55 equal to, and I'm just going to real quick write what I know it's equal to before I even look at it so I don't get confused. 55 over 100 doesn't reduce very well. So let's see what else they have. Okay. A, process of elimination, 11 over 20. To get from 55 to 11, I would need to, so 55 to 11 over 20, does that fit? 5 divided by 5 equals 1. So it would be divided by 5 on the top and the bottom. And is 100 divided by 5 20? Yes, it is. And I check that by saying 20 times 5 is 100. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. All right, so A is not my answer because it is correct. Remember, we're looking for the one that is not correct. B says 55 over 100, which we already said is absolutely true, so it's not B. B is correct. C is 550 over 1,000. Well, what's different between 55 over 100 and 550 over 1,000? Just that 0 on the end, which I know from rule of zeros doesn't really change anything. That one's still correct, which means it has to be D, but I'm just going to go ahead and double check. 55 over 10, nope, I can't just eliminate that 0. That completely changes the meaning. This one's not equal to 55 hundredths, so D is my answer. Number 17. Find the measure of angle the measure of angle PQR is 162. And I look over here and I look at PQR. PQR. So it's not quite a straight line. A straight line would be 180 degrees, but it's all the way across 162 degrees. Find the measure of PQS. Well, we already know what angle RQS is because we have our little box there, and the box equals 90 degrees. And we're solving for this unknown angle. We know the total, 100, I'm going to write that lower, 162. If I know the total and I know part of it, if I subtract them, I'll find the other part, angle PQS. All right, 2 minus 0 is 2. 6 minus 9 needs to borrow next door. The 1 becomes a 0. The 6 becomes a 16. 16 take away 9 is 7. That means that angle PQS is equal to 72 degrees. Answer choice B. All right, page 5. Cranking right along. 18. Which of these angles is an acute angle? I remember that acute means that it's smaller than a right angle. This square means it's a right angle, so it can't be answer choice B. C is a straight line. That's way bigger than a right angle. It can't be C. D looks like it might be bigger than a right angle, and I'm going to test that with the corner of my paper. Let's see. Yeah, that's way wider than 90 degrees. That means my answer must be A. A is my acute angle. All right, 19. Which line segment in this weird shape they've got here is perpendicular to AH? So I need to know two things. What's perpendicular mean? And I have to find AH. So let's find AH. AH is right here. Okay, so I'm going to point to this. And what does perpendicular mean? There are two words that you might confuse with each other. Perpendicular and then parallel, which is going to be our next question. And I remember that Mrs. Cook taught us that parallel has its meaning hidden right in the word. So I'm going to write it really big here. It has its meaning hidden right here because it has two straight lines, the two L's that will never touch. Okay, so if that's what parallel means, then perpendicular must be the one that's opposite that. So if parallel looks like this, perpendicular must be the one that looks like this, that meets at a 90-degree angle. So I find my AH, and I see that the one that meets at a 90-degree angle is line AD. Answer choice D for number 19. All right, number 20 uses the same vocabulary. Which line segment is parallel to CD? So I find CD, and it's right here. And I remember that parallel, just like that name, means those two lines will never touch. CD and BE. Answer choice C for number 20. Last page, here we go.